Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of TNT, boys. We're starting our new mini-series called Power Hour today. Kale, you excited for it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to debate.
Yeah. So today we're gonna do it's what it is. What Power Hour is it's power rankings. So we're starting out with different position groups for different like NFL teams. So today we're starting with current projected starting NFL quarterbacks. We're going to do our top 32. We're going to start with 32, work our way up to 1, and we're going to kind of have a little friendly debate about it too.
Maybe.
How do you feel about it? You think how you feel like your list is?
I wish you the best.
All right.
At the end of the day, we're still friends, right?
It's just sports. It's it's all in good fun. So, all right. Do we want to talk a little bit about what another miniseries we're kind of going to start up in the future once football season starts?
So we gotta. I know we mentioned this before in a past podcast episode. This is that button-up clown shirt. We're gonna be calling this new series called "Who You Got." So if you guys have watched Barstool Sports, they do a sports advisor show. They do. They break down all the games. They say like there's 8 games in a week. And say Sam goes 8-2, and I go 6.
If there's 8 games in a week, and I go 6-2.
Excuse me. If he goes 6-2, I go, I guess 0 for 8. Then I would have to wear the shirt for the next episode.
Yeah.
Now these episodes will come out weekly because we'll have to be up to date. Because our other episodes we actually record 3 in one day, and then that's the secret. I know I should probably give you that, but. But with these, it also helps too. We're gonna be kind of current up to date with topics. So like today is what I don't know what the date is, but for example, yesterday stuff happened.
Today's the 14th.
We'll talk about it when we get to our current events and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think
with that "Who You Got" segment, just so I'm clear. Is it going to be cumulative, or is it going to be each week whoever does better or whoever does worse wears a shirt, or is it based on our overall record that season?
Every week.
Okay.
So we'll have to bring the shirt to each other.
And then at the end of the season, whoever has the better record
will get a prize.
And
at the end of the year, the loser will also get a not so good prize. Or not prize, but punishment, I guess.
Yeah, a punishment.
Now, however, this does not make anyone who comes on this show safe. I am going to put that out there now.
Okay.
So you guys know Brody. If Brody comes on and somehow, I don't think he will. I think he's going to do pretty well. But, I mean, look at Big Cat. He thinks he does well, but he also does bad.
You never know. It's literally a guessing
Nobody
game.
is safe. Whoever comes on the show, and they're constantly on here, they will be part of the ending year with the punishment if they lose. It's like fantasy football. Speaking of fantasy football, we might be starting a fantasy football league for anyone to join. It might be cash in. It might not be. We'll have to talk about it. We haven't talked about it yet.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, we haven't had a chance to talk to each other this weekend very much. So what I've been thinking about is what if we did fantasy football and either it's a $10 cash in or a $20 cash in at the end of the year. Whoever wins obviously gets the prize. But
right.
I mean, we'll have to think of a loser punishment, but I don't want to make it,
Yeah.
There might be some. There probably will be
we'll see.
Like a waiver or something. Like if it's, depending what the thing is.
Is it like the whole agent life, or is it just us, like the friend group?
We're gonna have our separate one with the friend group.
Okay.
Obviously, we could do it with agent life. And
I got another one I usually do with a buddy of mine from the gym. We do it on Yahoo though.
We could probably do it with all the podcasts on the agent life media group.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. But like we could do one with some of the fans too.
Yeah.
That one could be like a non-buy-in, no punishment one. Just a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fantasy football.
Other than that, Sam, how's your week been?
Busy. Good though. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
We've been busy too and got some projects coming up. Had a little bit of mistakes this week, but I gotta fix it, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Other than that, current events, what's going on around the world. Yesterday, sadly, Trump got shot at.
Crazy.
I don't really want to bring politics into our podcast as right now.
But that's beyond that. Something like that happening is almost beyond politics.
Yeah, and plus, I
anytime.
mean, we'll leave that stuff to Zach and them.
Right. Yeah, that's more of just like a humanity thing. Like,
you guys know my opinion about it already, but
yeah,
I mean, it's another life.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, sports world. LeBron James' son is now in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not doing all right. Not doing great.
He might adjust. He might not.
That's what sucks when you have the name of somebody that's been in the league for so long.
A lot of times, legend athletes, kids don't normally live up to their,
Yeah, like Michael Jordan's
their parents.
Kids. Michael Jordan's kids never did.
Right. And like, even though like Peyton Manning, his dad was an NFL quarterback, but he wasn't like a superstar. And Peyton Manning obviously had a way better career than Archie Manning, and so did Eli.
And their other brother, he didn't really make it that far either.
No, Cooper. Yeah, Cooper Manning.
Yeah,
and his son is Arch Manning.
Which he's kind of having an all right rocky start.
Still a backup at Texas behind Quinn Ewers, I think, for at least one more year. So.
What else is happening in the sports world? Angel Reese has lost her streak with the double-doubles. And it was funny. I was watching the video. She was crying about it at the end. She was like raising her hands like this, like one of the ball. She got like quadruple teamed. But I mean, that's what happens. Get over it.
It is what it is.
Other stuff that's going on that I know. I don't know.
Can get into it today?
Yeah.
Get into it now?
Explain what we're going to start off with.
So, I'm ready to go. I got my Ghost. I got my TNT Boys headband. Kale's got the cowboy hat. This hat's right here. What we're doing, we're just going to start with our 32nd ranked projected starting NFL quarterback.
So we're going to go 32 to 1.
Yep, we're going 32 to 1, and we're going to give our who we have in that spot, and then kind of explain why we have them there, and kind of just a little description of what we got. So
now, what I will tell you now, my picks 28 through 32 are kind of like, you might find a little weird, but like I kind of did like a position battle. I put both quarterbacks in there.
There's some that like they're definitely in a position battle, so to speak. I just went with who's right now currently listed as a starter, but I'll talk about the position battle a little bit, or if there's like a rookie on the team that could compete.
Yeah, well, I will say too, I don't know if you mentioned, I remember, but we are going to do every position. So
yep, we'll do every position. I mentioned that.
So
the next one will probably be running backs,
and then going down the line.
Probably wide receivers.
And then next year we're going to start watching more sports and get into more sports, and then we can start, and it's not just sports. We could do legends and teams.
Yeah, we could do all-time rankings.
The like team one, I think, is going to be cool.
Team ones, yeah.
You want to go first, and then me?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of read off what I got here. All right, so getting into it. Number 32, I got Jarrett Stidham, the Denver Broncos. Outside of a couple rookies, Stidham has the least amount of starting experience out of any other QB on this list. He's done nothing spectacular with the opportunities he's been given. Plus, he's in a three-way QB competition with 2024 first-rounder Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. Personally, I think Nix will come out on top. I think Bo Nix will win that quarterback competition, but as of right now, they have Stidham listed as the starter. Really nothing spectacular. That's really all I got to say on Jarrett Stidham. That's why I got him ranked 32.
My 32? We're going to get right into it, huh?
Sure.
So I got Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
I don't think McCarthy will be the starting QB right out the gate, but the combination of Darnold and McCarthy of the 24 season seems likely. Darnold has never finished a season with a passing grade of 67.0, and but his past 2 years were his highest. I'm surprised and excited to see this. But I do think
that's interesting because I think Darnold, I don't have Darnold ranked super high either. I think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But
he's a good bridge quarterback.
He's got he's shown promise at times throughout his career. And the Vikings have weapons. Like they got guys who can make plays. Um, I don't know. It's interesting, but obviously they drafted McCarthy in the first round. But I like my guy Stidham at 32. Man, he just hasn't really done anything. Like at least Darnold has shown some promise. Stidham hasn't really done anything at all.
No, I don't think McCarthy is going to do well in the NFL, but I could be wrong. I think he's just another cocky prick that's coming in there. He's just going to be another. Oh man, that Jets quarterback that just got released.
Zach Wilson,
He's just like
yeah,
another Zach
and
Wilson.
that's who he's competing with Stidham and Bo Nix for the Broncos starting spot now.
Yes, right. Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. I think McCarthy might be able to if he's got to have a really good supporting cast.
Yeah.
So
they don't really got much. Well, they do. They got some.
The Vikings.
Yeah, they got
Justin Jefferson
and KJ Osborne and
Jordan Addison.
They
got TJ Hawkinson.
Yep.
They got Aaron Jones now at running back.
Yep.
They got guys. They
It's
still
just-
have KJ Osborne? I thought they got rid of him.
I don't remember. There was another player that was really good at receiving too.
Google.
Pretty sure it's KJ Osborne, but
KJ Osborne. He's with the Patriots now.
okay. So
Yeah.
but
they do have Jordan Addison.
My 31st pick is going to be Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. May is the unknown as a rookie. He didn't have most of the big time throws in college football over the past 2 years, which raises the ceiling of this group. If he is the starter, you could expect some gunslinger ups and downs. Brissett played with Washington last season and saw action only 3 games, though he earned an elite passing grade in one of them. He was respectable at both Miami and Cleveland, and his consistency could very well put off the Drake May era for a short time. The floor of what Brissett can do is what puts the Patriots duo higher on this list.
Brissett, huh?
I'm kind of going with Brissett on it because I'm not a big Drake May fan. I think he's
No, I know. I think Brissett will definitely be the starter, but
I mean, look what he did in
but
Indianapolis.
I would. He did okay in
He
Indianapolis.
I think he did great. They just fucked him.
He had an opportunity, and then they went and got Phillip Rivers that next season after Andrew Luck retired. But I like Brissett. But
he should have been a quarterback, like starter.
But somewhere. I think you have it based on he's in a he's not like kind of in a competition with Drake May.
No.
But okay, at 31, I've got Daniel Jones with the New York Giants. I've kind of essentially written off Jones as a bust at this point, and I really don't think he should be a starter this season. But it seems like Coach Brian Daboll and the Giants are giving him one last chance. However, they did bring in fellow 2019 draft pick Drew Lock, who can potentially compete for the starting job. Jones' best season was 2022, where he led the Giants to a wild card playoff victory over the highly favored Minnesota Vikings. Jones was spectacular in that game. Despite the success of the 2022 Giants offense, it really ran through running back Saquon Barkley, and he's no longer with the team.
What a fucking traitor.
There's not much going on for them offensively besides rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Maybe he'll surprise us, but I see this as Jones' last opportunity to be a starter in the NFL. So I just, Jones, he just, I wanted to see him do well as a rookie because everyone was dogging on him being like the second quarterback taken in that draft after Kyler Murray. But he just hasn't proven himself. Like there's times he's shown flashes, but I don't know, man. And now he's injury prone. You got Drew Lock there, who's also not that great, but I don't know. I see it as his last chance to be a starter at all in this league, and if he can't get it done this year, I see him as a career journeyman backup.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I didn't expect him to have him at 31.
Yeah, I just think skill wise and like success wise and what he's got going for him. Yeah. 31.
I do think he is gonna,
but maybe he'll surprise us. Like I said, you never know. He does have some physical tools. Like he can run. He's shown us he can run. He's got a decent arm, but he's just inconsistent.
I do think it is his last chance, and I think Brian Dobble, whatever his last name is Great coach. He just needs someone.
he got it done with Josh Allen, and Josh Allen was raw when he first started.
Well, he had him. He had Lamar at one point too, and Joe
Yeah,
Flacco.
yeah. So he's worked with successful quarterbacks,
Yes.
and that's not to say Jones can't turn it around this year, but I see it as his very last chance to really prove himself as a starter. Any other thoughts on 31?
No.
All right, I'll move on to 30 here. So at 30, I have Sam Darnold of the Minnesota Vikings. The former first rounder has become a career journeyman at this point in his career after things not panning out with the Jets. He's had stints with the Panthers, 49ers, and now the Vikings. He's shown promise as a starter at times, but his role in Minnesota will have him as a bridge quarterback / mentor to the 2024 first rounder, J.J. McCarthy. Darnold has been named the starter going into training camp, and they seem fairly adamant about him being the week 1 starter. But anything can happen between now and then, regardless of who starts. The Vikings have a strong stable of offensive weapons led by wide receiver Justin Jefferson, tight end TJ Hawkinson, and former Packers running back Aaron Jones. So
I'm gonna miss him playing farm sim as a Packer.
that's AJ Dillon,
Yeah,
and he's still on the Packers.
Yeah, I like anywhere.
Third string, but
so, my 29 pick is again Daniel Jones.
We're on 30.
Oh, excuse me.
We're on 30.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, 30 pick. My 30th pick would be Stidham and Knicks.
Oh, okay.
So Knicks, after being selected in the 12th round, will be the Broncos starter at some point, but that point may not be immediate. Stidham just hasn't been good to this point in his NFL career. He has one season where he earned a passing grade above 56.0, and his NFL resume includes just 2 big-time throws, 2 8 turnover-worthy plays. Nick's experience and efficiency at Oregon could help him break through quickly, though his adjustment from the Ducks offense to the NFL situations could be a challenge, which I do agree with that, because
Ducks don't really run like a pro style offense.
No, and I will say this: I'm not a Broncos fan, but I was actually kind of excited for when they picked Bo Nix. I think it's going to make
Sean Payton could mold him into a good NFL quarterback.
Yep.
And like I said, I think he'll end up winning that competition. I just think he's the best out of those 3 because Zach Wilson's kind of thrown in there too. And I think they'll also, the coaches will give Nix every opportunity to succeed, and they'll probably give him the benefit of the doubt over the other guys because they want him to be the quarterback of the future in Denver. So,
yeah.
But
I don't know. I do agree. I do think it is going to be a challenge for him to make that point of transitioning in the NFL, like most quarterbacks do. But
every rookie, there's only a few rookies that really came straight into the league and just played at like an MVP level right away.
Yeah.
Like Stroud last year, and Andrew Luck did it his rookie year, and RG3, and then he fell off. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Herbert, he had a great rookie year.
All right, ready for the 29th pick?
Let's go to 29.
So, again, I have Daniel Jones at 29. Jones was the 3rd-ranked quarterback in the PFF grade on his own team last year. Behind Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito, Jones played in just 6 games in 23 and was basically either elite or one of the worst graded quarterbacks in a given week. With no in-between, he is a good athlete who's using rushing production and ability to escape the pocket have always been a big part of his game, but in 4 of his 5 years with the Giants, he has finished with more turnovers, turnover-worthy plays than big-time throws. His average depth of target has also been low over past 3 seasons.
Don't remind me of Tommy DeVito. There was a game last year where my Packers were like in the playoff hunt, and we lost to Tommy DeVito. Like we were rolling hot. I think we just beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We still ended up making the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but that loss to Tommy DeVito, man, like
it's embarrassing.
How do we make that happen? And honestly, like I would honestly take Tommy DeVito over Daniel Jones on that team at this point. but I don't know. I think he showed promise here and there, but I kind of like that pick at that spot for you. Um, my number 29 is Will Levis, Tennessee Titans. Levis is coming off his rookie season where he eventually replaced Ryan Tannehill as the new starting quarterback for the Titans. Levis showed flashes of greatness and also showed us that he has a lot to work on as well. It seems as if the offense is going to run through him now, with the Titans losing workhorse running back Derrick Henry this offseason. With a fairly deep receiving core that includes Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd, Traylon Burks, and a speedy pass-catching running back in Tony Pollard, a pass-heavy offense could either mean big numbers and great success for Levis, or too much pressure and a lot of turnovers and interceptions. Either way, based on his rookie season, I can't rank Levis much higher than the bottom tier of the league right now. So I think Levis has, I think he's got potential. He's got the physical tools and he's got some decent weapons. Calvin Ridley's a good kind of a bridge, close to being a wide receiver one. I think he's probably better suited as a two. They've got an aging DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know how much he has left in the tank. Tyler Boyd is a great slot receiver, did a lot of good things in Cincinnati. I don't know how I feel about Tony Pollard at running back. I don't know if he's a true feature running back one. I don't know if he has the size, but he's really fast. He's a decent receiver. And from what it seems like they're going to put it on Levis's shoulder this season. We'll see if he can handle the load.
Yeah, I think he was kind of a all right.
He wasn't even a first round draft pick. He was a second round draft pick.
So my 28th pick, I have another quarterback battle. It's the Raiders.
Oh,
Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. I'm going to say this right now, but I think Gardner is going to win it.
okay.
I
feel like he might be a fan favorite, but I personally
he didn't do bad with the Jags.
He didn't do bad really with anyone. He's prone to throwing some interceptions. He's a bit of a gunslinger, but I think O'Connell deserves it better though. He's more accurate. I don't know. Go on.
So I have is both Minshew and O'Connell started games in 23, and they'll now be competing for the same job in 24. Their passing grades were close, with O'Connell recording a 64.6 and Minshew posting a 60.6. They were good for 29th and 33rd, respectively, versus the rest of the league. O'Connell was the more efficient of the two, with a higher big time throw rate, higher adjusted completion percentage, and lower turnover worthy play rate. Regardless of who wins the starting job for week one, neither is a big needle mover right now.
They do have Devontae Adams as their wide receiver one, though. It's funny. Number 28, Aiden O'Connell, Las Vegas Raiders. So, Aiden O'Connell replaced a struggling Jimmy Garoppolo at the midpoint of the 2023 season. He showed promise in his rookie season and has been named the starter going into training camp, though he will be competing with veteran Gardner Minshew. There's not much to say about O'Connell except that he's basically your standard pocket passing QB with not much physical talent, but he has a great mind and decent accuracy. If he can beat Minshew for the starting job, there's a chance he could surprise some people in 2024, though he hasn't done or shown enough to be ranked any higher than 28 for now. So, yeah. I thought that was funny. We had the same. I mean, you listed both of them. I just listed O'Connell because, like I said, he's right now listed as a starter, but thought that was funny. So we kind of, I guess we both have the same viewpoint on that one. You want me to start with 27?
Well,
what's wrong?
My 27 got cut off, I guess. I don't know.
Do you remember who it is? Mm-hmm. You don't?
No, I have to go on my phone. I can't do that. Recording.
Yeah. What'd you type it on?
Google Docs.
Can you go get on your computer real quick?
Yeah.
Let me start. 27. I got Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers. So I'm not huge on Bryce Young. He has potential, sure. And obviously, he has talent as he won the Heisman Trophy a few years back. But the fact he's smaller is a concern for me, and I know there have been other successful small QBs, but most of them are also great runners and scramblers, and Young isn't really exactly known for that. Either way, Young had an awful rookie season, and Carolina was one of the worst teams in the league. He has a few okay weapons offensively. No one that's really great. Ultimately, if his line can't protect him, though, he's going to struggle. He'll have a tough time. Luckily, he has an experienced veteran backup in Andy Dalton in case things get really ugly for Mr. Young. So I got Bryce Young at 27. Kale's checking his 27 got cut off. So that's weird.
fuck? Give me 1 second here. I had Will Levis.
Okay.
So Will Levis didn't get the first NFL start till Week 8 in 2023, but from then on, he was an entertaining gunslinger. He finished the season with 16 big-time throws and 14 turnover-worthy plays, with only 2 games where he earned a passing grade above 70.0. His mission in 2024 is simple: make some good throws, then bad ones. He has the arm talent to be a good starter in the league. He just needs to know when to rip it and perhaps more importantly not to.
Okay. So we both had rookies from last season at 27.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Your 26 didn't get cut off too, did it?
Number
Okay.
26 is Bryce Young.
Go ahead and take your seat.
Uh, Young's rookie season was well about as bad as it gets. His 52.6 passing yards ranked 41st among qualifying quarterbacks, and his 27.6 passing grade under pressure was the worst in the league. The Panthers situation was equally as bad as it gets, so it's hard to put all of that on Young. He was brilliant at Alabama, but there wasn't any confidence for him in 2023 in Carolina to replicate it. His overall athletic deficiencies, size and strength, were glaring last season. More confident and better decision makings can get Young on the right track. 2024 will be an important evaluation season for the former number 1 pick. What do you think of that?
I mean, I'm not huge on Bryce Young. I honestly I'm just not big on him, man. Like he's small. He's not necessarily a great runner. And most small quarterbacks are successful because they can run outside of Drew Brees. But I'm not going to go over here and say Bryce Young is the next Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a legend. I don't know. And he doesn't have great weapons. They picked up Deontay Johnson
And
this
Adam
offseason.
Thielen.
They still have Adam Thielen, but he's getting old. They do have an underrated running back in Chuba Hubbard, though. He's a good running back in my
Shout out to
opinion.
Chuba from Edmonton.
Yeah. He was on my fantasy team last year. It was pretty good. Yeah, so my 26 is Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colts. The second-year pro is coming off a season-ending injury in which he was off to a hot start. Richardson has all the talent in the world to become a great NFL quarterback, but his biggest issue will be staying healthy. Being a running-style quarterback, he became used to running through contact and breaking tackles in college. He'll have to learn how to take care of his body and avoid big hits in order to stay healthy for an entire season. Accuracy is also a bit of an issue for Richardson. He has a cannon for an arm, but he struggles to hit his target at times. He has an experienced backup to potentially learn some things from in Joe Flacco. who is currently the second oldest quarterback in the league and also has a Super Bowl ring. If he can stay healthy, 2024 could be a big year for him. So Anthony Richardson is one that I like. He shut the fuck up. I think he's got, like I said, he's got all the talent in the world to be a successful quarterback. He's raw though. He's got some things to work on fundamentally, mechanics wise, but I think having Flacco there to learn from will be essential for him. Last year he had Gardner Minshew who took over when he got hurt, and he didn't do terrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, Minshew's always just kind of a solid spot starter, backup. But Richardson has the potential. So
All right, my turn.
25.
Number 25, Jaden Daniels. The reigning Heisman Trophy winner comes to the league as a number 2 overall pick and the likely starter out of the gate for the Commanders. Daniels' dual threat abilities give him a high floor right away with how much stress he could put on a defense, bringing a constant threat of picking up yards with his legs. Daniels' passing will be a work in progress, going from LSU potent offense to facing NFL talent, but he and his offense coordinator Cliff Kingsbury should be a good match.
Got some decent weapons too. Number 25, Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders.
Wow. Wow.
Jaden Daniels was the second overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. But also on the roster is veteran Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
I could see a potential QB.
Now, don't forget, you did quote back in one of our first episodes.
I did. Yeah. Jarrett. I could see a potential QB competition between the two, but I believe coaches will give Daniels as many opportunities as they can. The incredibly talented, reigning Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU looks to become the face of the franchise in Washington, and he has some decent pieces around him offensively. You know, you think about Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. He's got a couple good running backs in Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, an experienced tight end in Zach Ertz, and fellow rookie Luke McCaffrey is probably going to be the starting slot receiver for them this season. With no prior NFL experience, so I can't rate him too high. But with the raw talent and high expectations, I still put him above some other current NFL vets. So first rookie on the list is Jaden Daniels for me. Anything else on JD?
I think it's funny how we both said JD at the same pick.
We've had two that were the same so far.
Yeah.
So I'll go to my 24. I'll start with 24. And that's the other rookie, Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears. The first overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft out of USC is set to be the Bears starting quarterback this season. The Bears are not well known for QB success, but many think Williams will be able to change that due to him being one of the highest touted prospects we've seen and the supporting cast the Bears have put together for him. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, and also fellow rookie Rome Odunze are all his top wide receivers, running back, and tight end. Similar to Jaden Daniels, due to the expectations for Williams, he's ranked above some other veterans in the league, but since he still has no NFL experience, I can't rank him any higher than this spot. We'll see if the former Heisman Trophy winner can succeed where the Bears' last two first-round QBs, Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky, have failed.
Kale Williams, the next Mitch Trubisky, changed my mind.
What?
I said.
I know. All right. Who you got at 24?
It's Kale Williams.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have more similar lists than I thought.
I'm opening my I can't even talk today, apparently. I've been on a bad streak with that lately.
Roll with it, man.
I guess. I'm opening myself up to some criticism here. Now, whoever's watching, I am open. If you're a Bears fan, I mean, I think you and I have similar opinions about Bears fans.
We're both fans of Bear rivals.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I'm opening myself up to some criticism here.
They aren't as bad as Vikings fans, though. I will say that.
But it's pretty equal.
Good point.
as William has yet to play a single down in the NFL football. But I am a draft guy, so to watch Williams at USC and scout what I think he is capable of in the NFL and rank him below guys I think he's better than, even in 2024, would be disingenuous. Williams has the natural gift to be an impactful player in year one. He'll be surrounded by some stud receivers, what is hopefully a good offensive line. The big question for him is whether all the Superman plays at USC were out of desperation or it was or if that is his identity. If it was out of desperation and he could be comfortable playing in structure, he could be in for a big year. If he continues to play backyard football too much, 2024 might be a wild ride.
It's interesting, man. I think Williams, like, with some of these other guys, kind of like Anthony Richardson, he's got all the talent in the world to be successful in this league. But you made a good point. If he can play in structure,
Yeah.
and I think with gunslinging quarterbacks like that, it's important to get that structure. It was, Pat Mahomes was the same his rookie year. That's why they had him sit behind Alex Smith, and they kind of eased him into that Andy Reid offense so he could, he still has the talent to make those out of those world plays, but for that consistency, you got to play within the structure of the offense.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Number 23.
I know we don't have the same one here, though.
I have Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
Richardson is surprisingly talented and showed flashes top level traits in his 4 games of 2023. However, he suffered both a concussion and a sprain in his rookie year, this later requiring surgery, which ended his season immediately or prematurely. Goal number 1 for Richardson is fully healthy season. Goal number 2 is an improved accuracy and timing, and we know how he has a howitzer of an arm and an elite rushing threat, but he might take a step forward, might take a big step forward in his possession, but he must take a big step forward in processing in 2024. He has the supporting cast to do so. And I do agree. What you said earlier, his injuries is what stopped him, and
yeah. I agree. His first 2 goals should be 1, staying healthy for an entire season, which comes down to taking care of his body, and number 2, improving his accuracy. Because he's got all the arm talent, but it's the accuracy.
Yeah.
My number 23 is Jacoby Brissett, New England Patriots. Brissett isn't a consistent starter and definitely more of a journeyman backup. He's a solid starter when you need him. He'll put up some decent numbers and win a few games, but he's not someone who you want to build your team or center your future around. He's been named the starter going into training camp and should be a great bridge QB for the Patriots as they make their transition to the rookie Drake May. Unless Brissett completely tears it up this season, which we've seen him play really well in the past. Like, this is a guy who I think could be a good, consistent NFL starter. That's why I have him ranked above some of these other guys. But yeah, unless he completely tears it up this year, I see May getting his opportunity to start sooner rather than later. I think Brissett is better than people give him credit for. I think he's a little underrated. So, any more on the 23?
No. You gonna do 22? You want me to do 22?
I'll start on 22. I got Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns.
Did you look at my list?
No, I made mine before you did.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson. I honestly didn't think we'd have the same one here. I thought maybe I thought maybe you'd have him ranked higher, but I can't rank him too high due to. I mean, I'll just get into it.
I wanted debates, and this ain't no fucking debate.
Well, I mean, it's not really debate. It's more discussion. We're not even debating on the ones we have different.
I know.
We're just having a discussion, which is totally fine.
I mean, it seems pretty fair. I think more we get into different positions, I think then it's gonna really.
Yeah. Anyway, Watson has fallen off a cliff ever since his last full season in Houston, and his off-the-field problems started. I won't get into detail on that. No, I'm not going to do that. He showed glimpses of his former self last season. but ultimately suffered a season-ending injury and still hasn't really come back to his top playing ability. When he was at his best, he was easily a top 5 or top 10 QB in the league without question. I believe the potential is still there, but he's got a lot to prove in 2024. He is lucky he has a strong team around him, though he also plays in the tough AFC North Division and AFC Conference as a whole. So Watson, again, there's always that chance he could come back to his top playing form when he was a top 5, top 10 guy. But he's got a lot to prove. He does have a strong team around him with some good weapons, a good defense. The Browns went to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco starting at QB. But if Watson can turn back to his playing ability with that strong of a performing team, the Browns could be a team to reckon with. But it all starts with Deshaun Watson. So go ahead, Kale.
22, Deshaun Watson. Watson has been a disappointment since joining the Cleveland Browns. He has played in just 6 games of each past 2 seasons due to suspension or injury, and he is coming off of season-ending injury in his throwing shoulder. His numbers reflect all of that. Watson's 58.7
Completion.
no
No.
cumulative
Cumulative.
PFF passing grade over the past 2
You
years.
typed this up yourself, Kale?
Yes. The past 2 years rank 53rd among qualifying passers. Still has his dominant days in a Texans uniform are not a figment of your imagination. Perhaps there is still this year. We see it again, though he is running out of time to prove it. Big words.
Basically the same thing. Yeah. That's our take on Deshaun Watson. We both have him ranked 22. You want to start with 21?
Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Wilson's past 2 years make it nearly impossible to evaluate who he is as a quarterback and what he is capable of. What we did see last year is that he can still hit the moonshot when it's there, despite ranking just 21st in PFF passing grade. He is a top 10 quarterback in a big time throws and rate, and was a top 5 passer in big time throws when pressured, and yet has big time throw rates in past 2 years when the Broncos were 2 of the lowest in his career. Wilson was also one of the just a handful of quarterbacks with the throw average above 3.0 or 3.0 seconds. A constant throughout his career, which goes into his 100 sacks taken over the past 2.
I might get some hate for this one. I don't know. You might look at me weird, but number 21, I got Derek Carr, New Orleans Saints. So Carr's last couple seasons have been underwhelming after leading the Raiders to the playoffs in 2021. In 2022, he got reunited with college teammate Devontae Adams, but he got benched by the end of the season for Jarrett Stidham. 2023 saw him get signed by the Saints. He was expected to take over the NFC South, which he didn't. That did not happen.
He got hurt.
This offseason has seen the Saints draft Spencer Rattler out of South Carolina as potential QB of the future. We'll see what Carr can do in 2024, but ultimately my guess and my thoughts are his best days are behind him. So how do you feel about that?
I don't.
Carr has been a productive NFL quarterback in his career, but I think he's just getting to a point where he's getting old and he's getting injury prone.
He wasted too much time on the Raiders.
I think so. But
I think he played well for the Raiders.
He did.
He could have won a Super Bowl, but Al Davis Jr., fucking toilet bowl haircut looking ass bitch, he decided that's no. He's not like his dad. Can't make a team very good. Never has and never will.
He had to deal with a lot of crap in Oakland and then Vegas. Vegas.
Vegas.
But, you could argue he's the greatest Raiders quarterback of all time based off stats alone. I'm not dogging
Yeah.
Derek Carr because he's had a solid career. I just think it's getting to a point where
So yeah.
he's declining. He's in a decline. He's getting more injury prone. He's just getting older. And you saw, I mean, he wasn't a high draft pick, but Spencer Rattler can play. And he might be a good mentor for him. Who knows? Move on to 20. I'll start. I got Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals. Kyler's first 3 seasons, we saw gradual improvement with the electric QB. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2019, nearly led the Cardinals to the playoffs in 2020, and then finally led them there in 2021. Each year, his numbers gradually improved. He seemed to be on the up and come of a promising career. But the last couple seasons has been not so great, though.
Thanks,
And
Call of Duty.
yeah. He's been very injury prone. He's had character and leadership issues. And the Cardinals have not been winning a lot of games. There's been flashes of his electric play style. Maybe the addition of first round rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Will help him in 2024. Either way, I sees it. I sees it. I see it as his last chance to prove he's the long-term franchise QB for the Cardinals. So I might get some hate, but because a lot of people would probably have Kyler Murray ranked higher just based off his potential and what he's done in the past. But NFL is what have you done for me lately? And his last couple seasons have not been great. So
Yeah.
he barely cracks my top 20.
So at 20, I got Derek Carr.
Oh, okay.
And
We're not too
what you
far
see
off.
is what you're going to get from Derek Carr at this point. I mean, his pass, PFF pass grade has finished between 77.5 and 83.5 in the past, in four of the past 5 seasons. Now, I want to be clear, he is more good than bad. His turnover worthy play rate has never been above 30.3% over the span, and in his big time throw percentage has been at a high of 6.7%, and but it has a long felt like care or but it has long felt like Carr leaves too many plays out on the field. In 2023, Carr passed for 25 touchdowns and just 8 interceptions, but he has recorded 17 big time throws to 14 worthy plays, 14 turnover worthy plays, a much closer ratio. He remains a frustrated player to watch due to the dichotomy of what he's capable of versus what he puts on tape.
Dichotomy. Come on, man.
Dichotomy.
Dichotomy.
Yeah, dichotomy.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
I struggle at words.
Words are tough.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't read.
Derek Carr. I mean, like you said, it's what you see is what you get. I think he's just getting old. He's on the decline. So yeah, we didn't really have him too far off from each other. But
Yeah, you gotta like my next one too.
Saints have some. They have some decent weapons too on their offense. We'll see. Um, I'll go to 19 here. Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks. Some might be shocked I have Geno this low. Some might think it's right where he belongs. Geno Smith had an awesome year in 2022, getting his first chance at being a full-time starter since his days with the Jets. He broke the Seahawks single-season passing yards record, and then led them to the playoffs, which no one expected in going into that year. In 2023, he replicated much of the statistical success, but he couldn't lead them back to the playoffs. Outside of those 2 seasons, Geno has primarily been a career journeyman backup. I don't think he has the ability to take over a game if needed, like a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen type of guy. Um, Seattle may be willing to label him as their QB of the future if he was younger. I just think it's too little too late for him, which is why he's ranked where he is. So that's my number 19. Who you got?
Murray.
Crack Murray.
You know, Kyler Murray. Murray tore his ACL in November of 22, so we know most of his 23 season would be lost. On top of that, we figured the Cardinals wouldn't be very good, and there wouldn't be a reason to rush him back. So
Right. Josh Dobbs had a good start for them last year too.
but then he returned in Week 10, in an 8-game season and played decently. His 2021 campaign was an MVP caliber with 43 big throws and just 14 turnover worthy plays, but in 2022 season. Before injury was a massive step back. We will see which version of Murray comes out on top of majority of 2024.
Yep. Could go either way. So we both got NFC West quarterbacks at 19. But I got Smith ranked above. Well, I guess you would too, above Kyler Murray. Not much higher.
I got Geno Smith at 18.
Go
Smith,
for it.
he put together a back-to-back very solid seasons in 22 and 23. To his
Yep.
most recent campaign, he evaluated his big-time throw rate from 5.4% to 6.0%, and reduced his turnover-worthy play rate from 4.2 and to 3.5%. He missed 2 games due to a groin injury in 2023. So some of those cumulative numbers could have been even better. But Smith's 2 years have been a tale of 4 quarters. In the first half of 2022, he earned his third highest passing grade in the NFL in the league. And in the second half, he led the league in turnover worthy plays. In the first half of 2023, he had more turnover worthy plays, 13, than big time throws, 11. But from week 10 on, he was top 5 in passing grade and big time throws at 33 years old and entering the final year of his deal with guaranteed money. Smith may not be seen as a franchise quarterback, but he is absolutely the kind of guy who can engineer a win in any given week.
Yeah. He's solid. He's at a point where he's too old to really be considered the quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
I have the guy Smith used to back up at number 18, Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh Steelers. Russ has really fallen from grace since he's left Seattle. At one point, he was considered a top 5 or 10 QB, but now he's barely cracking the top 20, or at least my top 20. His time in Denver was not kind to him. Though 2023 was better than 2022 for him, he still got benched and ran out of town due to lack of success, mainly just winning games, being kind of a distraction. It seems like he's got the potential to have a bounce back year in Pittsburgh this season, but I think he will be on a short leash with the young Justin Fields waiting in the wing. Obviously, they brought in both quarterbacks.
I think Pickett's done in Pittsburgh.
He is. They already traded him.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, he's on Philly now, backing up Jalen Hurts. But I think, obviously, Russ is the starter. They've said that. They signed him first. But they're going to use Fields, I think, in a number of different ways. They might. There's been talks of them using him
know how to run.
On kick returns.
That boy know how to run.
He's good. He can run. Kind of like a young Russell Wilson, or though better. But he's got talent. Like, he can throw too. He can throw. He's got some accuracy issues, but he's got a strong arm. Steelers have some decent weapons. George Pickens. They got Van Jefferson now. Freiermuth's a good tight end. They got 2 good running backs, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. So, I think, like I said, Russ has the potential to have a bounce back year, but if he plays poorly early on and he's not looking good, they'll bench him for Fields. And I totally believe that. So, what are your thoughts?
I mean, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
So
Geno Smith and Russell Wilson at 18. I'll start with 17. I got Baker Mayfield. Don't give it away by laughing right away.
I know, but it's just Okay, to be honest, we don't know anybody's list until
No, we didn't tell each other.
no.
No, and it's not that big. I think it's interesting to hear each of our different perspectives on it. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mayfield had a bounce back year in 2023 with the Bucks, having his best year statistically, leading them to a division title and even winning a playoff game against the Eagles. Despite this success, I don't think it's enough for me to put him in the top half of starting QBs in the league right now, which would start at 16. He's right outside of that. Mayfield is someone who didn't get, honestly, I don't believe he got a fair shake early on in his career in Cleveland. I feel like they gave up on him too quickly. Because of this, he's bounced around the league a bit, but I believe landed in the perfect opportunity with Tampa. He has the potential to be a top 10 or 15 QB. I don't think he's quite potential enough to be top 5, but I think top 10 or 15. I need to see one more year similar to the one he just had last season for me to make that call. And just kind of elaborating more on that, like I said, I think Cleveland didn't give him a fair shot. Like, he had a great rookie year.
Well, Cleveland's just a terrible organization.
Yeah.
The owner is a fucking, he's like a slumlord of a rental house.
So, yeah, because he had a great rookie year. I think he finished second in rookie of the year, voting behind Saquon Barkley that year. He did have a sophomore slump, but then his third year, he led them to the playoffs and a wild card victory over the Steelers, their division rival, in Pittsburgh. Then his next year, he was playing injured all year, like literally putting his life on the line for that team, and then they cut him. And they moved on to Deshaun Watson, who obviously we see how good he's been doing with them. Not good. Went to Carolina, which was another terrible situation. Competed with Sam Darnold. Didn't have success there. Then he went to the Rams and actually had that same season and had a little bit of success and ultimately landed in Tampa, which is a great situation. They got weapons. Brady was there before. They know what it takes to win. And I think he's got the opportunity to maybe have a future there. So, yeah, I have him at 17, which isn't super high, but I think it's better than what he would have been last season. So, who you got at 17?
Yeah, I'm tired today. I don't know why. Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Like you said, he had a shitty career in Browns, and he led them to the playoffs. But
he had a couple good years there.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He just locked up another 3-year contract or extension with the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think they finally found their quarterback that is replacing Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
I will also say his last 4 games of the year were, the catalyst overall. Mayfield was erratic, and with 25 big-time throws and 22 worthy plays, but over the 4 final games, he earned a top 10 passing grade, including an elite Week 15 performance on the road in Green Bay.
I know. I remember that.
That propelled the Bucks into a storm finish into a playoff berth, which I will never forget the game that they played the Lions.
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that's when I knew Baker Mayfield was the guy for the Bucks.
I remember that game. He marched into Lambeau and had a perfect passer rating against us, and he's the only other quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers to have a perfect passer rating in that stadium, which is crazy because Green Bay's known for quarterbacks. Favre never did it. Bart Starr apparently never did it. Love hasn't done it yet. We'll see. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield. Crazy.
That's crazy. A quarterback that's played for them and a non-quarterback that's played for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to move on to 16.
Go for it.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. Shut your mouth over there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Honestly, this feels too low for Cousins. He has been he's been one of the most consistently successful NFL quarterbacks for the past 3 or few years in the past 6 seasons, but he's not posted an overall season grade below 80.0 and has just one sub 80.0 passing grade, but 2003 showed hints of a downturn. Cousins played in only 8 games in 23, and it was on a pace for the lowest big-time throw rate before going down with a torn Achilles. However, he was also on track for the lowest turnover-worthy play rate. His adjusted completion percentage was at a career high, but his average depth of target was a career low. Now he's 36 years old, coming off an Achilles tear. With a new team in Atlanta, he has been incredibly efficient to this point in his career, and we'll see if he can be more aggressive in 24. What do you think about that?
I think I agree because my number 16 is Kirk Cousins, Atlanta Falcons. Uh, Cousins has seemingly always been fringe top 10, middle of the pack throughout most of his career. I agree, he's been super efficient, but he's never like wowed you. I think he's never been like top
He's
five.
not playtime. He's not prime time.
He's always been like top 10, top 15, and you know, solid starting QB who puts up great numbers and can win a lot of games. He's a great field general, great game manager. However, he doesn't do anything to wow you and struggles to win big games, like you said, prime time. He has virtually no playoff success. I think he has one playoff win his whole career. Um, he's getting older, coming off an injury, big injury. He does have some great weapons in Atlanta. Maybe he'll go off this year, though he also has the pressure of talented rookie first rounder Michael Penix Jr. waiting to leap at the first opportunity he gets to start. But he does have some good weapons. Drake London is a decent wide receiver one, but thinking more like Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts.
Pit stop.
They got Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore.
We're running
But
back to Robinson.
yeah, Bijan Robinson and a decent. I think they still have Tyler Algier, the backup running back, he's not bad. Um, but yeah, I think this is just kind of where Cousins belongs right now. There's too many other talented quarterbacks who had good years
I
last year
have a
that have bright.
feeling that somebody's going to fight us on that one.
Probably you'll get some Kirk Cousins fanboys that probably will think he needs to be ranked higher just because he's been so efficient. But you got to look at it this way: he hasn't had any playoff success, and he struggles in primetime games. He's not, he struggles to go off script, but he's still in the top half, number 16. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised who I have at 15. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. I think me being a Rodgers fan my whole life, even though he's not on the Packers anymore, people would probably expect me to at least have him in the top 10. But no, I got him at 15. Um, it's definitely been a while since Aaron Rodgers has been ranked this low on a preseason QB rankings list. I'm a huge Rodgers fan, but the last couple seasons speak for themselves. His last season with the Packers in 2022 was underwhelming, and he was hurt all of 2023 with the Jets. He's also 40, oldest quarterback in the league. I have no doubt the four-time MVP could potentially have a bounce back year and ball out this season. But as of right now, I can't really rank him any higher than 15. There's just too many other guys that I think have a brighter horizons ahead of them, or were just better last season. Obviously, better last season because he didn't play at all. So, what do you think about that? Rodgers at 15. Are you surprised that I
A
had him?
little bit.
Yeah. Where'd you think I would have him?
At least cracking.
What?
At least cracking the top 10.
Yeah.
My
Top
15,
15.
you're going to think mine's kind of surprising. 15 is Jared Goff.
Really?
Yes.
I would expect you to have him in the top 10
For
after what
as,
he's done with the Lions.
for as much as Goff was already efficient and structured quarterback, he took that to an even higher level last season. Uh, his 85.2 passing grade in 23 was the highest of his career. His 3.4% big time throws percentage was the highest single season number since his Rams days, and his 2.4% turnover worthy play percentage was a career low. Unfortunately, Goff's play under pressure and outside of structure continues to leave a lot to be desired when compared to other top NFL quarterbacks.
That surprises me. We both had our surprise ones at 15. I don't know because I don't know if Goff is your favorite in the league right now, if it's still Stafford. But
I like Goff, but like it's going to be the progression, like decompression. Like
Yeah. You
that's what
think
I'm
so?
worried. That's what I'm worried about.
I think he's still young enough to have a decent career with you guys for like long term.
Yeah,
Because
I
he's
just,
only what, he's in his early 30s. He could play another decade.
yeah, you just never know though.
Yeah.
That's what thing about quarterbacks, you just never know.
Yeah, that's true. They could like fall
Look,
off
I
a
mean,
cliff.
look at Russell Wilson. He
Yeah.
was in track to be like the best QB of all time.
Or yeah, future Hall of Famer at least. And I
So
think he still is, but if he keeps playing like he has been,
they'll put him in for the rings.
he could ruin his well, he is the greatest quarterback in Seattle history, I will say
Yes.
that. Interesting, man. That was 15 was a shocker from both of us. All right. At 14, Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins. Tua had his best season yet in 2023. Ever since Mike McDaniel has taken over as head coach and they've acquired Tyreek Hill a couple seasons ago, Tua has led one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, leading the Dolphins to the playoffs the last 2 seasons. What keeps Tua from being higher on this list is his lack of playoff success, having only started and played in one playoff game so far. His somewhat apparent lack of arm strength and physical talent and ability to improvise keeps him from being higher as well. But he is incredibly smart, incredibly accurate, one of the most accurate QBs in the league. But when the timing gets thrown off, or like when he has to go off script, kind of similar to like almost like a Kirk Cousins type, um, it often isn't it's not pretty when he's asked to go off script or the timing of the routes get thrown off. He tends to start throwing interceptions. Outside of that, Tua has incredible accuracy, and the Dolphins could do much worse at the quarterback position. So Tua at number 14.
You can already guess who I have a 14.
Tua.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not even gonna explain it because
I kind of nailed it.
you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, who's your 13 then?
Purdy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fairly comfortable with Purdy's ranking on this list. His his consistent success, a belt, albeit, and a very talented offense over the past 2 years should not go unrecognized. His 78.3 adjusted completion rate was a top 5 number in 23, which speaks to his timing and accuracy. And his 5.4% big time throw percentage shows that even with below grade arm talent, he is a good enough anticipator to make things happen. Purdy is also a very confident player and pushes the ball, which battles the game manager label. He often gets not just a dink and dunk passer. Does he have the athletic talent of some players? No, but he's damn good at his job regardless.
I thought you would have Purdy higher. Some people are going to really hate me for who I have at 13. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. Especially Cowboys fans. You Cowboys fans are going to really hate me, and I don't care. What keeps Dak out of my top 10 is his inability to lead his team to victory in big games.
Wow.
Plain and simple. He puts up incredible stats most years, but a lot of those are when his team is trailing and it's in garbage time or it's against a team that isn't very good a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that said, I still think he's a solid QB and deserves to be middle of the pack when it comes to starting NFL QBs. Last season, he was second team All Pro and finished second in MVP voting. That's why I think a lot of people are going to hate that I have him in 13 because he did really good last year. But you got to take playoffs into consideration. There's no denying he can play, but then when you least expect it, his team gets destroyed by the number 7 seed Packers in the wild card round in their own
I was
house.
hoping you'd bring something up like that.
And then he thinks he deserves equal money to some of the top guys in the league too. So what Dak needs to do this season is get to at least an NFC Championship game. That's what I think. He needs to take them because the last time the Cowboys were in the NFC Championship game was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, people are talking Super Bowl. Get to the NFC Championship game first, and it's not like he doesn't have the supporting cast to do it.
Maybe
the Cowboys have been loaded.
Maybe don't cheat in a fucking game where against the Lions on the last second touchdown with an eligible receiver.
Yeah.
fucking
I'm
pussy
surprised you
bitches.
haven't. I'm surprised Dak hasn't been on your list yet because I know what you think about Dak, and I'm surprised he hasn't been said yet on your list. I'm surprised you have him ranked ahead of Purdy. Anyway, anything else on 13?
Nope.
I'll move on to 12. I got Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, and some people might actually wonder why I have Trevor ahead of guys like Dak and Tua after last season. But to me, the answer is simple. The upside is way greater with Trevor, and I don't think he's even scratched the surface of what he's capable of in this league. After a terrible rookie season in 2021 due to terrible coaching, he bounced back big in 2022, led the Jaguars to a division title and a playoff victory over the Chargers, a comeback playoff victory, a big comeback playoff victory, before losing to the Chiefs in the divisional round. 2023, he was off to a strong start, showing lots of promise. I think the Jaguars were number one in the AFC for a while. Before he had some injuries that kept him out a few games, affected his play once he got back. Ultimately missing out on the playoffs. I think they had one of the most disappointing endings to the season last year. The key for Trevor Lawrence will be to stay healthy. If he can do that, I think you'll have the Jaguars right back in playoff contention. So some people are writing him off after last year, calling him a bust. You got to remember, 2022 led them to the playoffs, big playoff victory over the Chargers. Yeah, they lost to Mahomes and the Chiefs and Arrowhead. Who doesn't? Besides Joe Burrow. And then
And Detroit, they won first game of the year coming off a Super Bowl.
yeah.
And
I'm
they
talking
will
more
again this
playoffs.
year.
But and then last season, like I said, they were off to a really strong start, and then he got hurt. So the injuries affected his play. If he can just get back to 100% and stay healthy, if they can protect him, they did lose Calvin Ridley, but they have some pieces. I think Lawrence will bounce back. And I'm guessing you have him too at number 12.
Yeah.
The way you laughed after I
Yeah.
said who he.
Yeah, number 12, Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence has shown us flashes and even extended periods of brilliance, but I continue, I continue to want more consistent high level plays before vaulting him into top 10, which he is capable of. He is ranked in the top 5 big time throws with 33, but also in turnover worthy plays of 24, with 21 total turnovers of the year. His season was a story of dealing with injuries, so he wasn't feeling his best through those struggles. On a positive note, Lawrence has had by far the most big time throws on passes of 20 plus.
Nice. Okay.
Number 11, Jordan Love.
Hmm.
Love let it rip in 2023. He is a top 10 quarterback in a total passing yards, a top 5 quarterback in big time throws, and a top 2 quarterback in passing touchdowns during the regular season. But even more impressive than the raw season numbers was the context of the second half of the year. From week 8 on, Love earned a elite 90.4 passing grade with 27 big time throws and just 10 turnover worthy plays. His play was elite down to the stretch and into the playoffs. He struggled with accuracy and consistent ball placement in the first half of the season, but was on fine in the second half. If how Love ended the year is closer to what we can expect of him moving forward, this he will ascend the list very quickly.
I'm surprised you have Love ranked ahead of Goff as the best quarterback in the division. But all right. I think that's a decent spot for him. My number 11 is Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles.
I was like, Juh.
Well,
Juh.
because I wanted the suspense because it starts with a J and you had Jordan Love. So I thought I wanted to make it seem like we had the same one again, but we didn't. No, I got Jalen Hurts, just outside of my top 10. Um, Jalen Hurts had somewhat of a down year in 2023 after an MVP caliber season in 2022 where he led the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance. He fell off a bit in 2023, and the Eagles struggled offensively, finding their identity. Negative stuff, negative stuff aside, Hurts has shown he's a great leader and knows how to win. He's led the Eagles to the playoffs each year. He's been the full-time starter so far. He's always been a great runner, continues to improve as a passer, and has great receivers. With the addition of Saquon Barkley at running back, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' offense should bounce back in 2024. So I have a different 2020 draft pick at number 11, but getting to our top 10 now, making progress.
Yeah. Of
My number 10, Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
course, you just crack him right at 10.
My guy, Jordan Love. So last season, Jordan Love showcased that he has the talent to be a top 5 QB in this league eventually. His first season as the Packers starting quarterback got off to a rocky start, but he eventually got into a groove and led them to the final wildcard spot in the NFC, beating the number 2 seed Cowboys in the first round and barely losing to the number 1 seed 49ers in the second round. If they won a few more games last season, Love could have been a potential MVP candidate with the numbers he put up. He put up some great numbers. He has a tendency to be a little risky with the ball at times, but you can't deny his big playability. He's an early MVP favorite going into the season, and let's see if he can capitalize on it in 2024. So I got nothing but really good things to say about him. Obviously had a rocky start last season, but came into his own, took control of the offense, and he's got some speedy young playmakers. I wouldn't mind having like a more of a veteran presence in that receiver room, but I mean, I don't like all the hype, but he's definitely got the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in this league. So, yeah, he's barely in my top 10, but that's who I got. Who do you got?
At number 10, I have CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Cracking the top 10 after just one season may seem like a reach for Stroud, but man, his rookie year was impressive. His yards, touchdowns, big time throw numbers, all placed in the top half of the league. He had some clutch moments and drives that were just were beyond his years. Stroud has also logged the third most completions of 20 plus yards, 32, with the lowest turnover worthy play rate in the league, and some such pass. That combination of success versus negative plays is unheard of for a rookie. Where Stroud struggled in 2023 was undesirably knowing what he could and could not get away with in the NFL, knowing when it takes to, take chances and when to look. That's an experience thing, and if he takes a step forward from what he saw in 2023, the top 10 ranking might be too low.
CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud and Jordan Love had similar seasons last year, but I think Stroud gets a little more love because he was a rookie. He
Yeah,
won the division. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and rightfully so. Rightfully
but
so.
look how long it took Jordan Love to start playing after
Yeah,
Rodgers finally
right.
left.
And that's the thing is Love probably wouldn't have been that good his rookie year if he's played right away as good as Stroud. So yeah, rightfully so. Who's your number 9?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Who knows what Rodgers will look like in 2024 coming off his Achilles injury? But if you don't take a toll of father time too far into consideration, Rodgers won an MVP in 2020 and 2021. So just one season the play separates him from the back-to-back run. If he's fully healthy, he has to remain a top 10 quarterback heading into the year. His resume demands it until we see otherwise.
Right on. That's not bad. I mean, like I said, he's got that. Obviously, he's won 4 league MVPs. He's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
And the Jets have weapons. They've won 7 games the last couple seasons with Zach Wilson. So if they can protect him, by all means, he could definitely be top 10, maybe even top 5 this year. So
Maybe he lays off the sabbaticals.
I just think, given the last couple seasons and the fact he's the oldest quarterback in the league, and just some of the I don't know, just some of the off the field stuff and everything. I can't put him in my top 10. So my number 9 is Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. Goff has proven to be a solid franchise QB since getting traded to the Lions. Coach Dan Campbell has done a great job of building around him and providing him with a solid defense. Despite a sour ending to his time in LA, Goff did have some decent success there, leading them to the Super Bowl appearance in 2018.
Well, you didn't lead him twice or once?
He led them there once.
Oh, I thought it was twice.
Nope. He led the Lions to their first division title since the early 90s last season, taking them to the NFC Championship game where they lost to the 49ers. Even though the NFC North has improved a lot this offseason, Goff and the Lions are still favorites to win the division in 2024. So, not much else to say there. Jared Goff is, he's always been a solid quarterback. I just think he needed a fresh start somewhere else.
You know who didn't like him?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay and Jordan.
Oh, yeah, Jordan did not like Goff with his Rams.
Still doesn't like him.
And I think it was a good trade for both teams.
Well, yeah, I think he got out of California, and California,
Yeah, I mean, he lived in California. He was from California.
Who knows what behind the scenes was like?
Right. I heard he was kind of partying and wasn't taking it too seriously there. He probably just needed to get out of California. And
eventually it bites Sean McVay in the ass a little bit.
Maybe a little bit just because he is younger than Stafford. But
the
thing is with Goff is he's not even the same type of quarterback as Stafford. And he's someone who you definitely have to build around. He's, again, one of those who is going to struggle going off script. Like some guys I mentioned before, Kirk Cousins, Tua. He's got to stay within the structure of the offense and stay within the script of the offense to really have that success. But when he has that, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he puts up some solid numbers, wins a lot of games. So he won't lose you any games, really. So, yeah, I got Goff at number 9. My number 8, Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers. Purdy has done nothing but win games since being thrust into the starting QB role for the 49ers. His rookie season saw injuries to both Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, which gave Purdy his opportunity, and he has not looked back. He led San Fran to the NFC Championship in 2022, unfortunately getting injured and losing to the Eagles, but bounced back with an MVP caliber season in 2023 and made it to the Super Bowl, though losing to the Chiefs. Some people call him a game manager. I use the fact, they call him a game manager and use the fact he has a stacked team against him. But all I see is that he's making the most of a great opportunity. I don't believe he gets enough credit for the throws he does make, and I only see him improving and having the Niners in Super Bowl contention again in 2024. I can't stand the Niners.
I hate the Niners.
They beat us every year seemingly in the playoffs, my Packers. But they have players that I like, and I like Brock Purdy.
Their fans are terrible.
I like Brock Purdy, and I like some of their other players. I like Debo. I like Christian McCaffrey. I like George Kittle. They may or may not re-sign Brandon Ayuk, who's, in my opinion, their best pure receiver on the team.
I think he'll go around.
So we'll see. But they have a solid defense. They're just solid all around, and Brock Purdy's the perfect quarterback to run that system, in my opinion. And so, yeah, he's number 8. He's in my top 10. And some people may disagree with that because he's a game manager. But really, so is Jared Goff. So is Tua Tagovailoa. So is Kirk Cousins. Like, he's in the same boat, same style as those guys. Even Tom Brady, the GOAT, in my opinion, was that style of a quarterback.
I think he was the best game manager of all time.
Yeah. But, like, game manager, people use it as a negative thing when describing quarterbacks, when really it's not. They might not have the physical tools to do what Lamar Jackson does or Patrick Mahomes.
So, my number 8 is Jalen Hurts. It was a roller coaster of a year for Hurts, and he, set the career highs of passing yards, touchdowns, and big time throws. He also had a career highs in interceptions and lost fumbles. It was his 3rd consecutive season of at least 10 rushing touchdowns, while he also led the position in rushing first downs. It also just didn't look like Hurts was fully healthy, for a lot of the 23 campaign. He wasn't the same rushing threat overall and lower missed, tackles forced per yards per attempt and explosive runs, 20 yards or more. Figures, it wasn't as efficient or explosive, a season as his 2022, but Hurts remains a consistent threat from his position or the
Yeah.
position.
No, yeah, I think Hertz is right in there, like fringe top 10. I had him just outside because he did like after the previous season, he's arguably top 5
Yeah.
when he took them to the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I mean, after his down year, he definitely showed some of his flaws. Okay, so now we're into top 7, and I'll be honest here. Um, only one out of my top 7 quarterbacks is an NFC. The rest are all AFC. So the AFC, I think, is just that much better at quarterback. Um, so number 7, I have CJ Stroud, Houston Texans. There are a lot of analysts and experts that have Stroud in their top 5. I can't put him there quite yet just because he's coming off a rookie year. Though he's still in my top 10, he had a phenomenal rookie season and at one point was even in talks for MVP. He didn't win MVP, but he did win Offensive Rookie of the Year and led the Texans to a division title and a playoff victory over a talented Cleveland Browns squad. With the addition of Stephon Diggs to the offense, I only see Stroud improving this season. So,
What's up, brother?
CJ Stroud.
What's up, brother?
Who you got?
Dak Prescott.
Really?
Yes.
So we got both Texas quarterbacks at 7.
It's a shame that Prescott's final game of the 2023 season, a loss to the Green Bay Packers, was a big disaster, big of a disaster
Big
as it was.
disaster. Big disaster.
But,
For
because
them.
to that point, his 23-24 campaign was special. His 89.8 passing grade in the regular season ranked only second, only to Tua. His 73.5 passing grade under pressure was number one. His 37 big time throws in the regular season was the most NFL. But, I do agree with you. He's only getting these yards and shit because he's under pressure and coming back.
Well, yeah, like he's it's in garbage time or it's against bad teams.
I mean, you saw
Like they struggle against legitimately good teams.
you can call me biased all you want, but like I just see how it is. As a person that's been watching football for a long time, he struggled against the Lions.
Yeah.
And I told everybody the Lions exposed him. I mean, a lot of teams did. They obviously did in Green Bay. But you know what? That one touchdown that CeeDee Lamb had from the end zone, like end zone to end zone, that he got close to getting sacked and as a sack.
Yeah.
He's only good because of certain players and a decent offensive line, but
I liked him better early on in his career when he was more of a runner.
yeah.
Like, but now he's just kind of I mean, he kind of falls into that game manager category now, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
Like I said, he's a solid quarterback. Like the Cowboys could do much worse. But
it's
I don't
Jerry's
know.
world.
I'm just surprised with how much you hate the Cowboys. You have them at 7. But okay, fair enough. Moving on to 6. This is my top quarterback in the NFC, Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams. I might get some backlash for this, but keep in mind, Stafford is one of only 4 starting quarterbacks in the league with a Super Bowl ring. The other 3 being Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. You can include Joe Flacco, but he's not a starter. He's a backup. So that's why I only said the other 3. But I believe Stafford has been underrated his whole career, playing for a Lions team that couldn't build around him or give him a good running game. His first year in LA, he won the Super Bowl. Was injured for much of his second year and then led them back to the playoffs last season where he barely lost to his former team. He's still easily one of the most talented QBs in the
I never forget Jordan. They cheated.
Dude, I remember.
We love
that.
you, Jordan. Don't worry. We're not talking shit. We love you.
I remember that reaction, but he's still easily one of the most talented QBs in the league. He can make throws that no other QB can make. One of the best arms, and he's also one of the most experienced. I mean, outside of Aaron Rodgers, I think he's the second oldest starting quarterback right now. So Flacco, I think, is older, but again, starters. I'm talking starters. So,
Yeah.
and he does have a great supporting cast, and he could be primed for a big 2024. Who knows? Like Stafford could keep balling even though he's getting old. But you look at that offense: Cooper Cup, if he can stay healthy, Puka Nakua, Tutu Atwell. They got good receivers, and Kyron Williams came on big last season at running back.
Oh yeah,
So
he did good for me in my fantasy football.
Blake Corum is a backup running back for them, and Higbee's a decent tight end. So, yeah, I got Stafford at 6, and he's also my number 1 NFC quarterback. So, my top 5 are all AFC.
My number 6 is also Matthew Stafford. You know, something about fine wines getting better with age. I tell you. You know, Stafford had a fantastic season at 35. His
Fine wine.
eight,
I like wine. Yeah.
I do declare this is some fine wine
I
right
do
here.
declare.
Anyway, his 83.8 passing grade in the regular season ranked 7th in the league, which his 32 big time throws were 5th most, and his 2.1% turnover worthy play rate placed second, behind only Prescott. Stafford has long had one of the best arms in the league, and even if total arm talent is going down slightly, he's making it up for the wisdom,
Yep.
uh, creativity, and craftiness.
Yep. I agree. Even if his arm talent's going down a bit, like he's got that experience on his
I'll
side.
never forget when he played in Detroit and he beat the Browns with a broken collarbone.
That was his rookie year.
Yeah,
And dude, he's been doing those outlandish throws, the no look passes before Patrick Mahomes started doing it and made it popular.
yeah.
But he's played in Detroit his whole year, so no one really sees that. Like they don't like their games don't get broadcast to as many people. So
Change it.
Stafford, yeah, I think number 6, like just a good spot for him. He's probably your top NFC quarterback as well then. So our top 5 are probably going to be pretty similar.
It'll be Matthew Stafford.
No, we already said Stafford. We're
Yeah.
on we're on to
No,
top
I
5
know,
now.
I know, but like for NFC,
For NFC,
it'll be Matthew
my
Stafford.
top 5 in the NFC are Stafford, Purdy, Goff, Love, and Hurts.
Yeah,
But you got Prescott in there somewhere. I
and
don't got,
Love's over
but
Goff.
our top 5 together are probably going to be all the same, but might be different order. But I'll start. Number 5, I got Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers. Though Herbert was injured for much of last season, we can't deny what he did the previous 3 seasons. He's one of the most physically gifted QBs in the NFL, with potential to be in discussion with my top 4. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2020, led the league in passing in 2021, and finally led his Chargers to the playoffs in 2022, though losing and giving up a big lead to the Jaguars in the wild card round. Despite losing his top 4 weapons this offseason, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and Gerald Everett, I believe as long as Jim Harbaugh can give Herbert a solid defense, he will have the Chargers back in playoff contention in 2024. So I truly believe as long as he can get a solid defense on the other side, Herbert can carry that offense with whoever he has. He can be that guy who can get it done with a lackluster receiving core, like some other quarterbacks have done. Like Aaron Rodgers has done that in the past when his top guys have went down. And Herbert's got that same level of, natural talent. So, yeah, Justin Herbert.
Number 5, Justin Herbert.
I knew it.
2003, 2023 wasn't Herbert's best season from a efficiency standpoint. Plus, he missed the final 4 games due to injury, but he did what many of us have been asking for his last few years: pushed the ball more, posted a 5% big time throw rate, his highest since his rookie year, and recorded an average target depth of more than 8 yards downfield for the first time in his career. Despite some of the criticism that he can't single handedly will his team to postseason success, which is silly. Herbert remains one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. His 68.9 passing grade under pressure last season ranked third behind Prescott and Lamar Jackson.
Cool.
So we had pretty much similar takes on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, even though he had a down year, you can't deny what he's capable of.
Yeah.
And he's young still.
I'm guessing you might have the same one here, but number 4, Josh Allen.
Nope. Nope.
Really?
Nope. No, go for it, man. Give us your take.
Allen had led the season last year in big time throws. Playoffs included with 41. Despite pushing the ball downfield as much as he did, he still kept his turnover worthy play rate at a 2.9%, career best. He also added the second most first downs with 66 and most rushing touchdowns, 18 of any quarterback. Allen is a unicorn of athletic gifts for the position with size and speed and strength. Yes, he'll make some mistakes, but his ceiling is high as it gets for the position, and it shows it weekly.
You just call him a unicorn?
Yeah.
That's a good spot. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we have all the same guys in our top 5, but different order. So my number 4 is Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. And I have a reason why he's below Josh Allen, but Joey B could easily be number 2 or 3 on this list with what we've seen him do so far in his career. But his biggest downfall has been injuries.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason I have him just outside of the top 3. That said, 2021 and 2022 had Joe Burrow looking like a top 2 quarterback, barely losing the Super Bowl in 2021 to the Rams and making it to back-to-back AFC Championship games both seasons. He's also the only other quarterback besides Tom Brady to take down Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. If he can return to form and stay healthy in 2024, I have no doubt he'll have the Bengals in prime position to make another run at another Super Bowl appearance. So, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, the reason why I have him outside of my top 3 is injuries. They did lose Tyler Boyd this offseason, who's been a great security blanket in the slot. They lost Joe Mixon at running back.
They lose their D lineman too, didn't they?
Yeah, they've lost some pieces, so we'll see how he does. But again, when he can stay healthy, he's easily, right up there. I mean, he's already right up there, the best one being top 4, but my top 3 are top 3 for a reason. So I'll start my top 3. Number 3, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Allen has consistently been a top 5 QB since his breakout year in 2020. He has the size, arm strength, and physical toughness to last an entire season and play in the cold weather of Buffalo. His toughness and ability to stay healthy is the primary reason I put him one spot above Burrow. He hasn't had the playoff success, but he's just all the other stuff combined. He's led Buffalo to 4 straight division titles, really ever since Brady left the division.
Lefted.
Ever since Brady left the Patriots,
Lefted.
Allen has dominated the AFC East. He has, him and his Bills. He's led Buffalo to 4 straight division titles and always has them in prime position to go on a deep playoff run. Despite not winning one yet, he's always a candidate when discussing league MVP. We'll see how he does this year, having lost his number 1 target, Stephon Diggs, and if he can lead the Bills to a Super Bowl. So that's my number 3, Josh Allen.
My number 3 is Joey B.
So we have the same top 2. I know that now.
Last year, Joe had a tough one due to injuries. It started with a calf strain and was rushed back from the start last season, and then suffered a torn ligament in his wrist and one throwing arm or throwing hand. However, I'm not going to take that and use it against him because we've seen Joey B and what he has done and what he can do when he's fully healthy, when he is, he can play elite football.
Okay. So what was your primary reason to have Burrow ahead of Allen?
I just think he's better.
Okay.
And I think he can make bigger throws.
You think so?
Yeah, but the only thing that Allen has on him is the running.
I think Allen has a stronger arm and more physical ability. Like you said, running. Yeah. He's tougher.
Yeah. He's a little bit bigger.
He's bigger. He's a lot bigger.
He's a bigger boy. He could play line if he wanted to.
He could play tight end, maybe. I don't know if he could play line. But I don't know. I just think
school, he probably could.
To be honest with you, I would have Burrow ahead of Allen too, but it's the injuries. He's had 2 season-ending injuries.
Yeah, but I'm not going to use that against him.
So, yeah, at some point you kind of have to, though. Yeah. All right. Number 2, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. Somewhat, honestly, to be honest, 2 through 4 was kind of a toss up for me. Lamar,
I feel like it
Josh
was the
Allen,
hardest one. I ain't
Joey
gonna lie.
B. Either of them could been in here at number 2, in my opinion. So that basically tells you guys who I have at number 1. But I'm gonna dive into Lamar here real quick in his case. I went with Lamar, and I went with the fact he has 2 league MVPs under his belt now, and the fact neither of the other two have one yet. He hasn't had as much playoff success as Allen or Burrow, but last season he finally made it to his first AFC Championship game. I believe he's the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time, and that's over guys like Vic and Cam Newton. I do believe that wholeheartedly. With the addition of Derrick Henry, we'll see if Lamar can finally lead the Ravens to a Super Bowl in 2024. So some people are going to say Josh Allen or Joe Burrow should be ahead of Lamar. Where are their league MVPs? I mean, let's talk about it this way. The last 6 seasons, only 3 guys have won league MVP. It's either been Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or Aaron Rodgers. Ever since 2018, it's been one of those guys. So you have him up there with 2 of the greatest of all time winning league MVPs. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet. He hasn't won as many playoff games as Allen. And I get it. He's also got the injury bug. But again, he's winning MVPs. And when he's healthy, that's what happens. And I think he's getting better about learning how to slide, avoid big hits. He's improving as a passer every season. Every season he's improving as a passer, becoming more accurate, making smarter decisions. And the addition of a workhorse back like Derrick Henry is only going to help him. And it's going to make the Ravens offense that much more difficult to stop. So, yeah, I got Lamar Action Jackson at number 2. And I'm guessing you're the same.
Yeah. He had a career high in passing yards of 4,102 yards, the highest single season passing grade of 83.0. He led the Ravens to an AFC championship, but sadly lost 17-10. Lamar is also coming in as a 3-time MVP,
2-time.
2-time
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So again, I just think Lamar deserves it over the other guys. And that's not to say anything bad about them. I think the top 4, I think these top 4 are just kind of like, I think anyone would agree with. But I think obviously number 1, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. He's just the top dog in the league right now. Look at it this way: 3 Super Bowl rings, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 league MVPs. He's led the Chiefs to 6 straight division titles, 6 straight AFC championships. Ever since he's been a starter, he's never not went to the AFC championship game. Last year was the first year they didn't host it. They had to go to Baltimore. But he's arguably already in top 5 all-time discussion and already a future Hall of Famer. And you could almost argue that for Lamar at this point, having 2 league MVPs, but that's another discussion.
what I will say, and I mean, mine's obviously number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, but
Yeah.
he last year proved that he did not need a supporting cast to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah. Even Kelsey had his ups and downs with the whole Taylor Swift thing. Rashee Rice kind of came into his own, but
and then let's not forget about Tooney or Looney Tooney. Tony, whatever.
Isaiah Pacheco, though, I will say he's a beast at running back for them, but
yeah,
he's
a supporting cast.
Right? I would just say like Mahomes, like I said, he's already arguably top 5 all time.
You can't forget Juju.
Some would even say top 3. They didn't have him last year.
I thought they did.
They had him the year before. He was on Patriots last year.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have Juju last year. It was Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, Tony
Rice,
Sky Moore. He's got some. He's got Hollywood Brown going into this season and Xavier Worthy. I don't know, but what more needs to be said? I mean, I believe it would be tough for anyone not to put Mahomes at number 1 when doing a quarterback's power rankings. So
what do you think about these lists?
I mean, obviously our lists were both somewhat similar.
I was kind of surprised. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like doing power rankings and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, those top four, like, I mean, I think everyone would have Mahomes at number one, but then those next three, like, are kind of interchangeable if you want. You can make a case for either one. But to me, it's like if you're doing something like this and you don't have those four in your top four, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, and Burrow, then something is flawed with your list. And Herbert,
Or you don't pay enough attention to football. You're just
right?
making up,
And like I said, Herbert has the potential to be up there with those guys,
Yeah.
but he just hasn't won enough yet.
Yeah.
But I think it was good. I mean, there's just so many good quarterbacks in the NFL right now, like all the way to like top 25. Like you got guys that could potentially go off this year. It's just
And we like every year you can have a random rookie that's just out of nowhere.
yeah, like those top 4 or 5 are kind of easy, but after that it gets challenging. Like you got guys that have been in the league a long time that have the experience. You got young up and comers, guys who have kind of had a down year, but their potential, and it makes it kind of tough. So I'm just kind of. It shows we both maybe kind of think the same. I don't know.
We'll see about the other positions.
Yeah. Running backs next, right?
Yep.
I think that's a good one.
What we'll also do at the end of the year is, or either midway through, I think end of year sounds better.
We could do both.
We'll come back in here and see how our rankings are doing.
Yeah, we'll do like a mid-season ranking and then
report.
End of the season ranking, and then maybe even like a playoff deal.
Yeah. We'll do like a quick summary, I guess.
Maybe like after the Super Bowl, we do a
final
rank the quarterbacks of the playoffs.
Yeah, I sitting here thinking about ideas. Like we can do like of who could have been players, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Who had the biggest downfall?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, disappointments, surprises, for sure.
Or wrestlers eventually, when Sam gets more into wrestling.
Yeah.
But you have a long way to go, young Padawan, on that.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything else.
That was our first episode of TNT Power Hour.
So yeah, it's gonna be. So basically, what's gonna happen is it's gonna be regular episodes, but it's just gonna be a mini series in an episode.
Yeah.
And,
within our regular episodes. So that's fine.
And I'll put it in a different playlist and keep it all together.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us on all social medias at TNT Boys Pod, or any. It's not hard to find us.
Yeah, any social media, follow Agent Life Media.
Yep.
Listen to their podcast, Touching Base, Useless Assumptions, Talking Dirt,
yep.
all of them. Give them a listen.
We have great. About anything for you.
Yep. So
we're also open to other podcasts coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to reach us out. We also have an email on our pages.
Yeah.
For booking and stuff, and no, not booking, but like inquiries.
Yep.
Let us know what you guys think about this episode.
Yeah. Let us know what you think of this idea. If it's pretty good or if it's trash or whatever, we're gonna keep doing it anyway.
Yeah, we're always. Sam can tell you, I'm always striving for new ideas.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think that wraps it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, peace out. Bye.
It's time for Power Hour.